special guest. All right. Kathryn, did that video stop playing for you partway through?
It felt like it was a loop, actually.
Something screwed up with that video in particular. I don't know if it's all of them or if it's just the one or what the deal is, but it's the third time I've tried it today, and I guess it'll be the last time.
I was not offended.
Okay, all right, good. It just so you know, I was about to say very special guest, which you are. You said you're not offended, but we are excited to have you here and wanted to have a nice little video. But Kathryn, you're coming to us from Kabbage. Thank you so much for joining the Power Hour. This is what we like to call the most entertaining stock market show on the internet. What we like to call it changes pretty much every day, depending on how we're feeling. But for those of us who aren't familiar, can you just tell us a little bit about Kabbage? Give us the background, and then we'll hop into it.
Sure. Kabbage helps small businesses manage cash flow through a variety of products that include things like lines of credit, small business checking account, payment processing, invoicing, bill pay, and charge cards.
Awesome. And I'll ask one more background question a little bit. But when you were getting the company started, where did it start, and what was the hole that existed in the market that you guys saw and said, hey, this is somewhere where we can step in?
I'm glad you asked that question. Our company was actually influenced by technology. That's what inspired Kabbage to begin. My co-founder, Rob, in 2007, we're really old. He had the idea for using a recently launched eBay API to provide capital to eBay businesses that were selling online. And so that transaction and seller level data allowed us to get real-time access to verified data that we could use to determine how well a business was performing. And we took that platform that we built and expanded it to not only serve other online businesses, but also brick and mortar businesses.
Got it. Okay. All right. No, that's helpful. I didn't know that. I always like to pick up on some of these fun facts, but something that I'm particularly interested in, and I know just based on the comments that we get that our chat is particularly interested in is where exactly are small businesses at? And there's probably no one better to ask than you, given that you guys are providing the financing for so many businesses across the country.
Well, one of the things that we learned that we didn't really realize when we started the company was that small businesses have always been underserved for financial services products. 100% of our customers had a checking account with a bank, 80% of them with the big banks, but they couldn't get other services from them. And so they've often found themselves without access to a lot of tools and services that larger businesses take for granted. And so from our perspective, what we're seeing is a lot of the same things playing out today. So we're seeing that smaller businesses are not recovering as quickly as larger businesses from the pandemic. And they also haven't had access to some of the benefits, the economic benefits that larger businesses have had, whether it's, the Fed buying up corporate debt, or whether it's access to lines of credit. They've really had access to PPP, and that's about it. And so I think it's taken them a while to recover.
Okay, and I mean, how far along are we in that recovery? So you just told us it's taking longer for them to recover. I mean, is it are we getting back to being half operational across the board? Is it a quarter of the way there? Are we still a long way off? How far along in the process are a lot of these companies?
I think it's important to provide a little bit of context on who the small businesses are. So of the 30-ish million small businesses in the US, 90% of them have fewer than 20 employees, 80% have fewer than 10. So it's this 90% of businesses that we generally are talking about when we talk about small businesses. Those are the ones that have historically been underserved. And so what we're seeing is that 57% of these customers are reporting that their businesses are fully open. So imagine if you're a restaurant, that means all of your tables are open. If you're a gym, that means all of your treadmills are open. So they did find that online sales have certainly increased, and they've been embracing digital services, but they think that for them, recovery means that they can pay all of their employees full wages without being concerned. So, and again, if you compare the year-over-year growth differences between larger business and smaller businesses, smallest businesses have had a 3% employee change and 2% total sales and 0% profit change, while the largest businesses have seen a 36% employee change, 35% in total sales increase, and a 33% profit. So I think that you see it play out in the numbers every day.
Okay. And do you guys get, and I imagine you have some sort of insight, but do you guys have any insight as to like levels of investment? Is it like these businesses are starting to come back and they're ready to hit the ground and building out operations? Is it like a little bit of cash recovery mode and let's just get our feet under ourselves? And the reason why I'm asking is that I would imagine that would give some sort of degree of confidence of these business owners.
I think it's also important to sort of segment the businesses by business type, by geography. There are a lot of businesses that are doing well. There's this K-shaped recovery that's happening in small business as well. Businesses that were focused on home services, what large and small, from Home Depot down to your local contractor, they're crushing it. My local picture framing shop has just been, 2 months behind ever since the pandemic started because people see their ugly frames on their walls and they want to change them up. But if you are a dry cleaner, then you rely on, urban commuter traffic, folks who are going to office buildings. You're having a hard time right now because that traffic hasn't returned yet. And, the vaccines haven't really rolled out fully yet. And so I think it's going to be a while before that traffic returns, if it ever does, because in many ways, people's work styles are changing. Maybe they're not going to get on as many planes. Maybe they're not going to go to the office as often. And that's going to have a permanent impact on certain segments of businesses.
Okay. I've got two reactions to that. The first one is not only are the people seeing their own ugly frames, all their colleagues are on the Zoom calls, right? Everybody sees the ugly frames. So you need to get those swapped out. And then your point about the dry cleaners is super interesting, super relatable. Like myself as an example, I like call this the year that destroyed all my shoes because I've gotten none of my shoes taken care of for the entire year. Just because, see the same 6 people every day. no need. I'm not traveling, etc. No need to get them polished up and resold and all that sort of thing. And Kathryn, I know you have to bounce in just a couple of minutes here. But any final words of wisdom would be greatly appreciated.
I think it's just important to remember that small businesses power our economy. 50% of our non-farm GDP comes from small businesses and 66% of all new jobs. And so they are a vital part of our economy. And it's important to remember that they need access to all the same tools that larger businesses do. And we need to make sure that they fully recover before we say, that we've made it to the other side.
Awesome. All right. Well, Kathryn, I know you're so busy, so I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hop on with us, talk small businesses. It's such an important part of our whole economy, as you stated. And there you have it, everyone. Kathryn Petralia, co-founder Kabbage. I dropped the link in the chat so you can check the company out. Thank you so much for hopping on with us, and we'd love to have you back whenever you're available.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right. You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.